refuse to serve God, God said you're going to serve your enemies. The Lord set the white man against us. The Lord set the Spaniards against the Puerto Ricans or the Venezuelans or the San Dominican. The Lord set them against your ancestors, the Colombian. Christopher Columbus put yokes of irons around your neck. He taught you Spanish. You didn't speak Spanish before they came on the other side of the world. That's the yoke of iron. The yokes of iron, he'll bow down your neck and put that around your neck and say, bow down. Anything you want, you would have to go to your oppressor. The Englishman, the French Caucasian, the Spaniard Caucasian, the Russian Caucasian, all the Caucasians on earth, you go serve them. So now you walk around thinking you Caucasian. You walk around thinking you're a Spaniard. You walk around thinking you from Spain. No, you from the west coast of Africa. You the Israelites, the Bible speaks of. That's right. Bro, how you doing? What's your name, bro? Wisdom. What's wisdom according to God? Knowledge. Get Ecclesiastes on wisdom. What is it? Wisdom Solomon 2:23, I believe. I'm going to show you what wisdom is according to the Bible. Wisdom is a good word, but what is wisdom according to God, not according to our own mind? Right. Understand that, man. Yo, what's your name? Are you Gabe? James. And that's Keisha, right? Keisha over there. This is wisdom, Keisha, wisdom. He came and said wisdom, and this is James. Read that.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 26. If thou desire wisdom.
If you desire wisdom, like my brother called himself wisdom, read.
Keep the commandments.
You see what wisdom is, wisdom? What is wisdom? Keep the commandments. Right. The commandments is what we need to keep. Right. Now, just like the brother just explained to y'all who you are according to God. You must know your nationality to know who you are. Because you can read this Bible, but you'll never connect with the Bible if you don't see yourself in the Bible. Right. God created everything. He created nationalities. He created all you see on this earth. A human being, animals, birds, everything. He named everything. So now the question is, what nationality you come from the Bible according to God? Because the nationalities we have today are not the nationalities that's written in the Bible. Right. Understand that. So if you could call yourself African American, you could call yourself Dominican Republic, you could call yourself Puerto Rican, Colombian, Venezuelan, but these are cursed names. Right. Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. Verse 47, start at verse 47, read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
Because we serve not the Lord thy God with joyfulness, read.
And with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Because we refuse to serve God, God said you're going to serve your enemies. Right. Read it. Continue reading.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
The Lord set the white man against us. The Lord set the Spaniards against the Puerto Ricans or the Venezuelans or the San Dominican. The Lord set them against you. Read on.
In hunger.
In hunger.
And in thirst.
Your ancestors were putting yokes of irons around their neck. Right. Your ancestors, the Colombian, Christopher Columbus, put yokes of irons around your neck. Right. And he taught you Spanish. Right. You didn't speak Spanish before they came on the other side of the world. Read on.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness you will serve your enemies. Read.
And in want of all things.
Anything you want, you would have to go to your oppressor. Right. The Englishman, the French Caucasian, the Spaniard Caucasian, the Russian Caucasian, all the Caucasians on earth, you go serve them for food. Read on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
That's the yoke of iron. The yokes of iron, he'll bow down your neck and put that around your neck and say, bow down. So now you walk around thinking you Caucasian. Right. You walk around thinking you a Spaniard. Right. You walk around thinking you from Spain. Right. No, you from the west coast of Africa. You the Israelites, the Bible speaks of. That's right. Read on.
Until he hath destroyed thee.
God said your enemies will put yokes of iron in your neck until you become destroyed.
That's right.
What are we destroyed today? Are we still walking around on earth today here in Newburgh, New York? Yes. So where are we destroyed? Proverbs 21:16. We are destroyed mentally. Now we don't know we're the people of the book. Now we think we're from Sundom, we think we're Dominican, we think we are Mexicans, we think we're Venezuelans, we think we're Hondurans, we think we're African Americans, we think we're Haitians, we think we're Jamaicans. All these derogatory terms. Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 16.
This is how it's destroyed. Read.
The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
We are the walking dead in New York City.
Right.
You could go to Bronx. You see all the Northern Kingdoms. I'm sorry, the Hispanics are the walking dead.
Right.
You can go to Brooklyn. You see all the so-called African Americans, the walking dead.
Right.
Mentally, you don't know who you are. You're just waking up every day, going to work, going to the wash house. You wake up and do the same thing every day and never wonder why your people in the worst condition in America.
Right.
Why are you in the worst condition in the ghettos? Every hood you go to, you see poverty.
Right.
You see the long line of poverty. They're getting food next to a trash can.
Right.
That is a cursed people.
That's right.
Read. Deuteronomy 28, go back. Deuteronomy 28, verse 48, read it again.
He's going over it right now.
The book of
Understand, brother, we are a cursed people. We are a royal people, but because we disobeyed God's commandments, we have became a cursed people. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48.
Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger.
In hunger. You want food, you got to go to Shell gas station. You got to go to all these primo dinner restaurants, all these establishments that's owned by your oppressor. You might get your own people managing these establishments, but they are owned by your oppressor, what God called your enemies. Read.
And in thirst.
In thirst, we got to serve our enemies.
And in nakedness.
The clothes on our backs, we serve our enemies for. Read.
And in want of all things.
Anything you want, an ID, a car, a birth certificate, a social security card, a flight to fly to another country, all these you'll have to serve your enemies for. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So you see that wisdom? That's why it's important to know your nationality. That's why the young brother up here was asking you, what is your nationality? We no longer are African Americans. We can't use those terms.
Right.
Because those are terms that was given to us by our enemies, which is the curse. Isaiah 65 and 15. Those are cursed names. Those are cursed nationality. Like if I was to ask you your last name, what's your last name, Wisdom? Huh?
Brian.
Brian. You know that that name came from the same slave masters that put your ancestors on boats like you see here, and then they got off the shores of West Virginia, South Carolina, New York, Savannah, Georgia. And then once they got off those boats and got on those specific states, they start selling them on slave blocks. Another was called Brown Plantation or Johnson Plantation. And from there, as time passed on from generation to generation, guess what they called the slave that was in those plantations? They call them by their slave master's plantation name, which for your case would be what? Brown. Exactly. Just like you see the football players, you see their names in the back of their jerseys. All these are slave masters' names that were put upon you. Like Hernandez, case in point, or Gonzalez. All these names were put upon us by your oppressor. But for the Spanish, it was called the Spaniards. For the African American, it was the English, the British, and America. So these are cursed names. Read that for me.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verse 15.
Read.
And ye shall leave your name for a curse.
You heard what God say, Wisdom, you shall leave your name for a cursed name, which the name you have today. Read.
Unto my chosen. For the Lord God shall slay thee, and call his servants by another name.
All because of disobedience. So now you know you Judah, right? You know you Judah. All praises. So now, how do you walk like a Judite? Because you're no longer an African American. You can't move like an African American no more. So now your question should be to me, Wisdom, is how do I carry myself like my ancestors? How do I carry myself as my heritage, which is a Judite, which is an Israelite from the tribe of Judah?
Right.
So what do you say? What do you say? How do you think they're supposed to carry themselves?
I don't know.
That's an honest answer. You're right. Now I'm gonna help you. Now give me 2 John 6. Come on, I want a verb. I want that word, that walk. I'm gonna show you because I asked you a question. How do you walk like a Judite or an Israelite? Read that for me. 2 John 6, I think it is.
The book of 2 John, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
And this is the love.
And this is the love of God. Read.
That we walk after his commandments.
So an Israelite from the tribe of Judah or any other tribe from the 12 tribes, to love God, we have to do what? That we walk?
That we walk after his commandments.
So now wisdom, we got to find out the commandments. We have to find out the commandments of God, because your answer was you don't know. I'm giving it to you right now. Now let's get some commandments. Give me Leviticus. Exodus 20 and 8, I think, about the Sabbath day. Today is a Sabbath day. The brother was going over it earlier, so we're going to go over it again. Today is the Lord's Sabbath day. This is the day God ordained. Give me Genesis 2. Let's go to the beginning. This is the day God ordained. We must all remember this day.
Right.
Read that for me.
Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Scan that QR code that you will see on the screen. Because guess what? We trying to push this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Let's push this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Stop playing games.
Make sure you subscribe to all our channels. We pushing the truth.
Make sure you subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe. Make sure y'all subscribe. Stop playing games.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 2. And on the seventh day, God ended his work.
So God created the whole earth. On the seventh day, he ended his work. Read.
Which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day.
What does God do on the seventh day?
Rested.
God rested on the seventh day. Read.
From all his work, which he had made.
Just like us today now. We're supposed to pattern ourselves after this example. Read on.
And God blessed the seventh day.
He blessed the seventh day. Read.
And sanctified
And
it.
he sanctified and made it separate from all other days. Read.
Because that in it he had rested from all his work, which God created and made.
Now give me Exodus 20 and verse 8. Give me the verse. Give me the law now. This is why Moses in the wilderness taught our ancestors this, because of what he learned in Genesis 2 we just read. Read that for me.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8. Remember.
We must do what?
Remember.
We must do what?
Remember.
Read.
The seventh day.
Why would Moses say that? Because we just read it in the book of Genesis, which means the beginning. In the beginning, God say, I'll sanctify this day. So that's not on Sunday, brother. Because a lot of our people go to church on Sunday.
Right.
That day was changed by the Roman Protestant church, which they changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday. Why? Because everything God teaches, the devil teaches you opposite of to do.
Right.
That's right.
Read it again.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Read.
6 days shalt thou labor.
He's quoting what we just read in Genesis 2. Read.
And do all thy work.
So when we work, we go to work. Some of us are bus drivers. Some of us are mailmen. Some of us work at the warehouses. Some of us drive trucks. God says 6 days you shall labor. Read.
But the seventh day.
But the seventh day, brother, read.
Is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work.
That's why you see us standing here on the Sabbath day. We ain't at the white man's establishment. We gotta work for on Mondays through Sunday.
Right.
We ain't there. We here on the streets waking up the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's
you
right.
so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, because that's what Christ did when he on the Sabbath day. Give me that in Luke 4:17, I think it is, or start at 16. That's what he did. That was his custom on the Sabbath day to go where the Jews resorted. Read that for me.
The book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 16.
As you see, we went from Genesis to the time of Moses. Now we in the New Testament. Nothing has changed. Read that.
And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up.
You know what Nazareth is? Nazareth is the worst place of all the cities in Rome. Meaning it was the ghettos. That's why the prophecy stays in the Pharisees. Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? It's like you go to the worst hoods in New York. Can anything good come out of there? That's what they asking. Read that again, verse 16.
Verse 16. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up.
That's the hood, read.
And as his custom was.
His custom, meaning his ways of life, his heritage, the way everything, you know what a custom is? Some of you do religiously, for lack of a better term. Read on.
As his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day.
On the Sabbath day. So he wasn't working because Christ was a carpenter. He had employment. But he didn't do carpentry on that day.
Right.
On the Sabbath day, he went in the synagogues, read.
And stood up to read.
And stood up to read what you see us doing right now. We in the hoods reading the Holy Scriptures. Read on.
And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah.
So he read from the book of Isaiah. When you read about Christ, his #1 book he read out of was always the book of Isaiah, primarily, because there's a lot of prophecy in that. So my brother, I'm showing you how to carry yourself. So now what day should you worship, Brother Wisdom? Now we're going to test, this is pop quiz. See if you've been paying attention. What day, according to the Bible, we must worship that God told us to remember?
The last day, Saturday.
Saturday. Get a brother round of applause. That's correct.
That's right.
That's correct. So that's something that nobody can ever take from you no more. Now, are we saying you can't worship it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? You can pray to him and do all that, but he's saying, but on this day, you must sanctify it, meaning set it separate from all other days, and you can't work by, give me that, what is that? 35 and 6.
35 and 3.
35 and 3 in Exodus, right? Exodus. I'm going to show you steps on the Sabbath day you must keep. I think it's 35 and 3. Read that.
It's the book of Exodus, 35 verse 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day.
You see what we got to do now is stipulations and statutes we must uphold during the Sabbath day. One we just learned we can't do one on the Sabbath day. 6 days you shall do all your labor, but on the 7th day you shall what?
You shall
rest.
Rest and pray.
So that means, are you supposed to work?
Nah.
No. So we learned that. We can't work on a Sabbath day. Because remember I didn't say what God said, he did all his work for 6 days. But on the 7th day he rested. Meaning he didn't go to work on that day. You see, understand? Another thing he said not to do on the Sabbath day, read that again in Exodus 35 and verse 3. Pay attention, because I'm going to quiz you. Read that.
Book of Exodus 35 verse 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day.
Now, what does it mean, kindle fire? Well, read on. Let's see. I want you to read on. Read on.
And Moses spake unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord commanded, saying, Take ye from among you an offering unto the Lord.
So, kindling fire, when you start a fire, what are you trying to do? There's only a few things you're going to do when you start a fire. Give me some examples what you do to start a fire.
Light a candle.
What else?
Light a candle.
Light a candle. Okay, what else?
Set something on fire, like gas. Like if you got gasoline, just light it. Set it on
Okay,
fire.
give me some more practical. Something you got to do every day.
Every day, cook.
There you go. There you go. So to cook, you gotta have fire. You gotta have a stove. You gotta have either a microwave, whatever it is. Those are they create heat. They create fire to warm food to eat. Right. So now read that again about Exodus 35 and verse 2.
Bring it up.
35. Give me another one about cooking. You got another one for cooking?
Yes, sir.
All right, get that for me.
16.
Yeah, get that 16. Exodus 16. Yeah, this one might be more specific. Read that.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 23.
Read.
And he said unto them, This is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath.
So he said tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath. So today is Saturday, right? So basically what he was saying is this had to have been either Thursday or early Friday. He said tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath. Read on.
Unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake.
When you bake something, what are you doing? Cooking it. So what he's saying is tomorrow's the Sabbath, so bake that what you're going to bake today. Read.
And seetheth that.
Seethe means boil it, like if you're boiling eggs, whatever the case may say. So boil what you're going to boil today. Read.
That ye will seethe.
And
that that which remaineth over lay up for you.
So you could eat it, whatever you cook that day, and whatever's left over, like leftovers, you will do what?
Lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
Why? Because the morning would be what? But what day would that be? The Sabbath. Yeah, Saturday, you're right. But why would he say cook that the day before and leave some leftovers for the next day? Why he said that?
Cook the day before and leave some leftover for the next day?
For Saturday, yeah. Let's say today was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And you cook your food on Friday.
Yeah.
Because we know the Sabbath day is what day?
The Sabbath day?
Sabbath day. What day is the Sabbath? What day is Sabbath day?
The day rest.
The day of rest. What day of the week is it?
Oh, the sixth day of the week.
It's the seventh day of the week.
Seventh?
Remember, you say 6 days I shall work, but on the seventh day,
rest.
He shall rest.
Yeah.
Which day is the seventh day of the week? Saturday. So now let's say today was Friday, right? I'm giving you an example of what the Bible just said. Bring it back. Today was the Sabbath. Today was Friday, and you had to cook today, he said, and leave some leftovers for what day? Saturday. Why would he say that?
Why would he say that?
Yeah, because what can't you do on the Sabbath day?
On the Sabbath day?
Yeah.
You can't rest. No, you gotta rest.
You gotta rest. What you can't do?
Work.
You can't work. What else you can't work? What else you can't do? Start what?
Fire.
Start a fire to do what?
Kindle. Start.
Yeah.
To cook.
To cook?
Yeah.
So you go, you take your time. We with you. So you can't cook on the Sabbath day. Right. That's why he said to cook it the day before and leave some leftovers. Because when you have leftovers, then you will have what to do. You have some food to eat. Because you know you can't what? You can't cook on that day. Oh, praise, get a better round of applause. Now let's read it again down Exodus 16. Exodus 16. This is what they don't teach in church. This is what they don't teach us in church. That's why we can never be right in the eyes of God, because God gave step-by-step instructions of how we worship and how we praise him. Understand that? Read that.
Book of Exodus 16 verse 23. And he said unto them that this is that which the Lord has said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that will seethe, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
Why? Because the morning would be the Sabbath day, and now you'll have provisions and food to eat without breaking the Sabbath by cooking or working. What else are we supposed to do on the Sabbath day? You got that? Nehemiah 10. Yeah, get that. This is another thing you can't do on the Sabbath day. No, that's the buy and sell. That's the proof the buy and sell. Read that.
It's the book of Nehemiah 10 verse 31. And if the people of the land bring where are any victuals.
Victuals is food. Where is item, merchandise? Read.
On the Sabbath day to sell.
On the Sabbath day to sell. Read.
That we will not buy it.
Why wouldn't they buy it on the Sabbath day? Because yeah.
We're not supposed to be working.
We're not supposed to work it with us.
And we're not supposed to we're supposed to be resting.
We're supposed to be resting. We can't buy or sell on the Sabbath day. You can't work. You can't buy. So you can't. So can we go in one of these stores right now and go buy something? Why? Get it, brother. Round of applause. Yo, brother, I didn't break that down for you. All I did was read the Bible, and you just heard it, and you like, that's what the Bible said. Right. So you gave the Lord is dealing with you in another level, brother. Most people, and I'm talking about your elders, cannot receive that. Right. That lets you know the Lord dealing with you. Got a humble spirit.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord